And we're live. Hi, everyone. My inclination is to say hi, y'all, but Mark says I say y'all too much in videos.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't you counting that one night?
Yeah, I forgot.
You forgot how many of it you counted and told me that night. I was like, oh my God. I don't think I say it as much as he thinks I do, but I think he doesn't listen to me or he doesn't hear me. So when he does hear me, all of a sudden it sounds like way more than it is. So, but I probably do say it, like a nervous kind of tick thing. But anyway, I'm glad that you all could join us. Some of you will be here on the live. Hi, Dawn. It's good to see you. And yes, we're going to have a fun evening with Susie and Mark. I hope it might just be the three of us for the live. I don't know. But if any of you do come in for the live or later on the replay, please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. You can try it with the notifications, but I'm going to tell you the truth. They haven't been very good at getting those notifications out. So we'll just see. Hi, Miss Sunrise Dawn. It's good to see you too. So anyway, um, we also do have those super chats and the channel memberships. Don't forget those. Mark teases me though that Veta actually makes more money. Oh, he's going to do the yawns again. Gosh, he's really bad about this time of evening, getting really tired. So he's been up and going a long time. And then his eyes will water. I'm not pinching him or anything. He just gets the watery eyes. But anyway, he teases me that Veta makes more money than I do on YouTube. So I don't care. Right? The money's just the
Mm-hmm.
icing on the cake kind of thing. So anyway, Mark doesn't really know this, but I'm kind of wanting to do this, on a weekly basis. Like I kind of envision like a Susie and Mark on a Sunday night, like a walk down memory lane thing. I mean, I've already looked up a lot of stuff. I told him about some of it that I thought we could do, but anyway, so I thought it'd be fun after all the whole week of all this. And Mark gets on to me because Sunday's really the start of the week, not the end of the week. But for me, it's the end of the week. So, but anyway, for me, I thought doing something on a Sunday, whether it's the end or the beginning of the week, might be fun to do something kind of light and have him on here and just kind of, you know, have a fun time. Not be so intense like that one earlier, y'all. Goodness. So please join in the chat with places that you've been or things that you've had and mention all of your memories with these things that we're going to go over. And we've got lots more planned, or I have lots more planned. My cat's down here about to drive me nuts already. And I can't wait to see what your experiences are too. We're getting more and more of you in here already. And then, same with the ones on the replay crew. Leave us messages and tell us what you remember of these places and things and all that. A lot of it I don't remember, but it's just going to be different because like Mark grew up in the city and I grew up in like the rural parts of like on the desert in California and then very rural Oklahoma. So, and we're 9 years apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of have different experiences, but he kind of experienced the things that I experienced though because he has a sister that's what, a year older than me, Tammy. So we're
Yep.
pretty close. We're pretty close in years, so or in age. So he kind of, he can kind of figure out things that I might have seen and done by things that his sisters saw and did. So anyway, first of all, these are kind of silly, okay? But I'm going to go over the 9 funny things that rich kids had in the 80s. But before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you that I was considered a rich kid. I wasn't. We were not rich by any stretch of the imagination. To be honest, I've always said that I grew up as a poor black child. The reason that I say that, y'all, is I went to a school, my elementary school. I was literally the only white kid in the whole school. Now, granted, it was small, but I was literally the only white child in that school. I had the best time of my life. Just to be honest, it was wonderful. If I could have went there my entire through elementary school, middle school, high school, everything, I would have been. Joel says, Mark, blink twice if you're being held against your will. So anyway, if I could have went there all through school, oh, there's your dog. Yeah, I would have. But anyway, so what happened was that made me up to be the rich kid was we moved from that school district to the other side of the ranch, which put us in a different school district. This school district was bigger, and I ended up going there for many years and then into high school with the same kids, or many of the same kids. But anyway, so keep in mind, I had been around nothing but Black kids and the occasional Mexican kids. And I say Black and Mexicans because that's what we called them and that's what they called them. I was a whitey. They were Black or Mexican until, yeah, the Black and Mexican kids at my new school thought that the way I talked was mimicking them or, like making fun of them. So one day I was headed to the bus and they made this circle around me and they kicked the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. They were like beating me up because they thought that I was like mocking them, which I wasn't. That was just how I talked because that's all I had ever been around. And so I remember looking up and seeing the absolute most gorgeous Black girl I had ever seen in my life. And she reaches her hand down. Her name was Virginia Beavers. And she pulls me up. And she looked at those kids and she says, you're going to regret this. She's my cousin. She's half Black. And her dad is in prison and he's about to get out. And he is not going to like it that you all have done this. And he's not going to like that your parents put up with this. From that day on, y'all, I fit in. I was like one of them, right? And not long ago, one of the kids that I went all through elementary school and junior high and high school with, one of the guys said, you're not really half Black, are you? And I was like, no, not really. But, so, oh, there's my bulldogs over here now. They all went in on the show tonight. So anyway, there was that story. So while all this was happening, my, stepdad, which he technically was my stepdad, but they really were like, oh, that's her stepdad, because it was this blonde, blue-eyed cowboy, right? Not the Black man that they were waiting to come and kick their butts because they picked on me. So anyway, he was the foreman on this ranch. Well, to kids out there, the foreman might as well have been the owner. And we lived in what was actually one of the Phillips brothers from Phillips Oil. It was his first mansion. Now, this mansion, it was not a mansion by today's standards by any means, but it was a nice big house. And in the day, it was considered kind of a mansion. So here I was. My dad was the owner of this big, huge ranch, living in a big, huge mansion. So all the kids thought I was rich. So when I saw this list of 9 funny things that all rich kids had, all that story to tell you this, I was cracking up because I'm like, nope. I didn't have any of those things. We was poor, but we just looked like we was rich. The house, my dad's truck, all that steak and other beef that was in the freezer was all part of the job. Certainly, he did not make a huge income. We had a wonderful life, but it was because we were happy with what we were having, not because we was happy with the money he was making. So anyway, we're going to start the night off. Now, I think Mark kind of grew up a little bit, maybe not rich, but you were definitely upper middle class, wouldn't you think?
No, we was kind of poor.
Oh, I don't think you were poor. Seriously, poor. Well,
We weren't the richer.
But your parents or your mother now are definitely on the upper end of it and have been for a while. So maybe your sisters grew up more, not rich, but like maybe a little better off than what you had.
Could be.
Could be. Okay, so y'all, let's see if these 9 things, if any of you had these 9 things. What?
I'm just counting.
Counting what?
Y'all.
Y'all. He's still counting the y'alls. Oh, Don't be flashing them up on the screen. Goodness. Remember the thing last time? Don't embarrass me.
You didn't tell me that tonight.
Well, it's an unspoken rule. I'm not going to embarrass you, and you can't embarrass me. Okay, number 1. I actually had this one, but we'll see if Mark did or if any of you did. An intercom system in your house.
Nope.
I did.
Yeah, we had one.
Yep. Yeah. Timmy, Carrot, Mark,
That,
Cindy.
the flashing light
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, we did have the flashing light outside. Did y'all's parents do that where they would flash the light for you to come in? Now, we weren't off at the neighbor's house, but we were outside and the lights would flash, and so we'd know it was time to come in for dinner. So what happened if you didn't make it in time?
Didn't get no dinner.
Didn't get no dinner. Okay, now this one I did not have. I don't know anybody that did in their home anyway, and that's a heart-shaped or just a regular jacuzzi tub.
Nope.
Did any of you have a jacuzzi tub? We didn't. We had a nice big bathtub in my mom and dad's bathroom. It was huge. It wasn't what you would call a garden tub, actually, but it was just this big, great bathtub. I just loved it. Of course, I was a kid. Maybe it wasn't as big as I thought it was. But some rich kids, I guess, had jacuzzi tubs in their house. So what about neon light sculptures in your house, like different colors of neon lights? Did you have any of those? I didn't either. I didn't even really realize it was a thing. Okay, here's a good one. I didn't have it, but I knew somebody that did. And I used to clean their house, so I got to use it all the time. And that is a central vacuum cleaner.
Nope.
They like plug into the wall, and it's just a big old hose, and it works way better than a normal tub. Or the tub, I was reading some of the chat. Works better than a normal vacuum.
Well, I guess we had one that was called Three Sisters.
Three Sisters. That's an automatic.
Oh.
Okay, number 5. See, we're already halfway through with this one, with this list. A basement bar, or even just a wet bar, in your house, or a bar cart, or, something in your house. Did any of you have that? We didn't either, but the people that lived in the house before we moved into that great big house, they did. They had a bar cart that they'd wheel out whenever people would come over, and had a ton of alcohol on it and everything. I remember we went to a Christmas party there, and his wife made rum balls, and we were eating them like crazy. And my mom and dad couldn't figure out why me and my brother and sister was pretty much drunk as skunks by the end of the night. But we were eating all the rum balls. Okay, now I did have this one. A novelty phone. Like a Hamburger or Lips or Garfield or Ronald McDonald or Kermit the Frog or Mickey Mouse. You didn't have any of those? Did your sisters?
Nope. We just had the hang on the wall.
Just the hang on the wall one? I'm trying to think. I know I had the Garfield one. It seems like somebody had the Kermit one. It might have been my sister, but I can't remember. But I had the Garfield one. Thought it was really special when we got it. Not gonna lie. Got it at a yard sale. Okay, didn't have this one either. Well, it's just kind of a twofer. And one I did have, the other I didn't. But those round beds, do y'all remember those? Did you ever see any of those?
Nope.
Nope. So you didn't have a round bed, I'm assuming.
Nope.
What about a water bed?
Nope.
You didn't have a water bed?
Nope.
Nobody in your family had a water bed?
No.
When I got married, we had a water bed, and that thing was hilarious. Hilarious. And I'll tell you the truth, that whenever we got married, we actually booked a room because it had a round bed and a heart-shaped jacuzzi tub in it. We booked that for our wedding night. Not Mark and I, my ex-husband and I. But we got an ice storm the day of our wedding, and so we canceled it. But I would have actually one night in my life have had a round bed and a heart-shaped bathtub, and I probably would have just fallen asleep. What we do on our honeymoon, fell asleep, ate McDonald's the night before. That was the best McDonald's we've ever had. Okay, number 8. Now this one I didn't have. I did not have it. I had it, well, in school, but not at home. And that was the Apple Lisa home computer.
Nope.
You didn't have a home computer?
Nope.
They didn't hook up to internet or anything, y'all. This was just like a glorified typewriter, basically. And they cost $10,000. I don't know what the ones at the school were. I don't know if they were some kind of Mac computers, but I don't know what they had to pay for them. I don't know if the school, got a better deal or something on it, but I do remember having them at the school right before I graduated, like the year I graduated.
We
That
didn't
was
have no
it.
computers at school.
Well, you were a long time. He graduated in 75. I graduated in 84. So, okay, the last one about the rich kids stuff is a glass staircase. Did y'all ever see those? I saw one time, and I wouldn't climb it. I was terrified. So, what about you? Never saw
Nope.
them? Never had them?
See, I told you, I wasn't rich.
Yep, we weren't rich. I had more than him, and I was poor. And mine, if the things that I did have, y'all, they came from a garage sale. I guess I went to garage sales at the rich kid's house. Okay, the next list, I have 20 things, okay? And these are things that were in everybody's house, supposedly. And we're going to see if these were in our houses. Some of these were in mine, and some of them weren't. There's a couple of them that are in mine right now. So I'm just going to mention it right off the top. If y'all look at the thumbnail, there's a yellow couch. We've got that sitting in our bedroom right now. It's a love seat. That yellow love seat, yellow and green. You can't see it on here. It's on the thumbnail when you look on the actual
Yellow love seat.
That love seat that's in our bedroom. It's kind of yellow and green color.
It's supposed to be white.
Well, it's white, but it's got yellow and green, like something on it, some kind of floral thing or something. So it's, it's
been
white.
around for a long
It's
time.
been around a long. We have that in our bedroom at the moment. The dogs lay on
my
it.
parents had it. We had it at the tea room. We had it at the office.
We've had it everywhere. That thing has seen some stuff. Okay, so this is stuff that you didn't have to be rich apparently to have this stuff in your home. Some of them I still didn't have. Some of them we actually had after we got married in the 2000s, 2002. And this stuff was popular in the 80s. And we had a brand new home in 2002 and it was in there. So some things didn't change too much. So anyway, number one, those glass block walls or partitions or windows or any of that. Did you have any of that in your house? I
Nope.
didn't either. I didn't have any of that when I was a kid. But remember the bathroom in our master bathroom in our first house together, the one that Megan and them have now? It's got that glass block window in the master bathroom.
Well, I don't know if it's glass block.
Well, it's
imitation.
fake. It's fake, but it's what it is. Well, it's glass, but it's, it's supposed to look like glass
It's
blocks.
frosted so you can't see it.
Yeah. But anyway, so, now this is another thing that we had in that house is those honey oak kitchen and bathroom cabinets. Did you have those in either your parents' house or when you moved out? Did you have those honey oak cabinets?
Yeah, probably that first house.
I didn't, because I lived in this mobile home and our cabinets were actually made of plastic.
But
it was awful. I take that back.
We sanded them down and did them.
Yeah. The first little mobile home we had probably had something like that in it because it was like a 1950 something model. It was 8 foot wide and 50 foot long. And it had some kind of oak wood throughout the whole thing. That thing was probably heavier than any mobile home out there today.
Bedroom doors were like glass. They were so sanded.
Oh, really?
With that oak.
Wow.
Veneered.
I like them. But okay, how about clear furniture? These were like glass top tables or made out of lucite or something like that. I had a glass top coffee table and a glass top kitchen table. Hated them both. Thought they were going to be the best thing in the world. Got them at a garage sale. Hated them. How about you?
Maybe a coffee table.
Your coffee table. A lot of them were wood and they had like glass panes in them. Yeah. So, okay. This one was a big one, y'all. Floral bedding curtains, the whole bit. They always matched. It was like this matchy thing we had going in the 80s. I didn't really do it either. We was too poor to be able to afford that stuff. But if you think kind of Laura Ashley kind of stuff, we had like quilts and just whatever curtains my mom made. We really didn't. I'm telling you, unless we got it at a garage sale, we didn't have very much fancy stuff like floral curtains, y'all. Okay, what about those metal wall sculptures? They would be like from home interior. They'd be like birds or flowers, or the birds would be flying and stuff. And they're like kind of brass looking, which, not really, but they're like supposed to be brass looking.
No.
I bet your mom had some. I would be willing to bet
In our
it.
home?
In your
Nah.
mom's home?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I bet she did. I'm going to ask his mom. We'll see her in a few days. I'm going to ask her. Okay, this one I definitely had, and I think you did too. A super long phone cord. Our phone cord would reach all over our house, y'all. Not in the great big house we lived in, but it reached a lot in the big house we lived in. But later on, years down the road, we moved to a little bit smaller house in town. We followed the cattle to a different plot of land that we were putting them on, and in that house, it would reach all over it. Did you have a long cord?
Mm-hmm.
How about party lines? Did anybody have party lines?
Nope.
We did. Everybody on the ranch was on the same party line, and I was the only teenager, and I was pretty much the only one that got on the phone that could speak English. So you can imagine me trying to speak Spanish. That's why I know all the cuss words. Because they were either cussing at me to get off the phone, or I was cussing at them to get off the phone. Okay, what about those fancy, like ceiling to floor, thick, fancy drapes that had the big valance at the top, and the tie backs were fancy and all that? We didn't have those. Did you?
No.
What kind of curtains did you have?
Hmm?
What kind of curtains did you have on the windows? Like at your mom's house or in your house? Because you were out of the house by then.
Pretty much solid.
Just
whatever.
solid, just whatever. Yeah. Me too.
Probably whatever came with it.
Whatever was there when you bought it.
When I bought the house. Yeah.
Because he was older, y'all. He was out living on his own.
I didn't care about that stuff.
What about simple lace curtains? We had some of those.
Nope.
We had some just simple lace curtains. I thought they were so pretty and girly. Okay, number 10, floral lampshades, wallpaper, furniture, that whole bit, like the couch or the love seat that's sitting in our bedroom, or that brown and orange looking couch with the wooden frame that everybody had. Did you have any kind of floral furniture? I know you had that or that white, yellow, and green couch because it was yours. It was y'all's before it was
I didn't
ours.
get that till way later.
Yeah, but y'all had it. But I can't imagine. I think your mom, until just recently, didn't she have some of her furniture redone? And it was kind of a floral pattern. So I'm sure she had some floral pattern stuff. That wallpaper. Well, the house that you and Barbara had, which would have been in the 90s, him and his ex-wife had a beautiful home that she tore up. And, we won't talk about that. But anyway, it had floral wallpaper in it.
It did?
Yes.
I don't remember.
In the kitchen. It had floral wallpaper in just about every room. And stripes, floral and stripes. And those borders that would go down the middle or, 2/3 of the way or whatever. Yeah. Okay, number 11, plants. And it didn't matter if they were real or fake. How many of you all had plants everywhere? And usually they were pretty big. The bigger, the better. We had some plants. My mom, she would grow those ivies and she'd string them across the piano and down the, across the wall. She'd have them thumbtacked to everything, trying to keep them up off the ground. And it was something. I remember that. I never was very good at growing them, so I didn't have very many plants. I was kind of a fake plant.
I had
girl.
cactus.
Cactus. I kill cactus. I am not good at this. Okay, number 12. If you didn't have floral wallpaper, there's a good chance that you had pastel painted walls, and sometimes more than one color. It could be a really light blue, a really light pink, yellow, green, all those really light pastel colors. Or you had paneling. A lot of us had paneling. But did you have any pastel colors? The
Yeah,
girls
in
have.
that one house.
I bet your sisters probably had some pastel colors. I can't imagine that they wouldn't
I
have.
don't remember, but I know I did in that one with Barbara.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Every bedroom was a different color.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty. It was kind of dated looking. I think she had kind of old fashioned taste, and so did he. But I mean, the 90s were kind of like a lot of the stuff kind of rolled over from the 80s to the 90s. It was still popular, at least here in Oklahoma. The East Coast and the West Coast gets things first, and then it kind of moves to the middle. So sometimes we're a little late on the uptake of all these trends, y'all. Okay. So again, with the heart-shaped tubs, and especially in hotels or motels, did you ever see any, like when you went to a hotel or a motel or something, or
No.
just like a jacuzzi tub? Doesn't even have to be heart-shaped. I don't remember one
No.
either. When not in the 80s. I can remember a couple in the 90s, and then when we got married in 2002,
It had one in that
it
room.
had one in there. Was it heart-shaped?
No.
It wasn't. It kind of seems like it was.
Mm-mm.
It was just big. I think it's a waste of space because it takes so much water to fill it up. And I like them hot, and he doesn't.
And then it stinks up the room.
And then it stinks up the room because of all the chemicals that they use to keep it clean and everything. So, yeah, we never had it in our house. I don't think I've ever had an actual jacuzzi tub in my house. I did have one in the hotel one time, first time I'd ever had, and like a big old dummy because I was just, a little country girl, didn't know no better. I got in it and I put some bubble bath in it and turned on the jets.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, the entire hotel, I like laid back and was closing my eyes and just relaxing with the bubbles. And I noticed they were tickling my nose. Well, when they started tickling my nose, it was because it was up over my head, headed out the door and into the room. So the whole room was flooded. It was awful. I was just so embarrassed because, I didn't know. I was young. This might have been like, I don't know, maybe right at the end of the 80s, like 89 probably. Maybe 89, 88, 89. Okay, what about those? They were brass or, look like it, but most of them were actually brass, and they were statues that you'd put like on your tables and stuff. And they'd be animals like geese or cats or elephants or horses, just all kinds of different animals, but they were like little brass statues. We had them. We had some that were little, and then we had some that were bigger. Most of ours were usually horses because the ranch and everything we had growing up was horses. So
I don't remember those.
you don't remember them? I need to hold the same thing with one of his sisters. I bet they remember stuff. He's a guy. Doesn't remember it. Okay, what about number 15? Huge entertainment centers. Those big wooden entertainment centers. Some of them were particle board. They weren't really wood, but they looked like it. And some of them were oak and nice.
Not growing up, I had one in my house.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that great big one that Mom had? It was so pretty, but it took up her whole entire wall, and her living room was little. When she first got it, she had a bigger living room, so it didn't. But okay, how about skirting on the beds or the furniture? Y'all, I still have a skirt on my bed. You didn't have skirts on your bed?
No.
You know what I'm talking about,
I know,
right?
and I hate them.
I have them because it hides the plastic boxes that I put like things under the bed in. Like I have a whole box underneath there that is nothing but dog clothes. And so if I don't have a skirt, you see it because our bed sits really high. So you would obviously see it. You probably still see it even with the skirt on it because our bed is so tall. Okay, what about Venetian or vertical blinds?
Venetian.
I remember my dad had vertical blinds on his patio door, and that was the first time I had actually seen them in person. So,
I had vertical blinds in that house. I had the first house on the patio door.
I always thought they were so cool, but really they're a pain in the butt. The like vents would be by the over by the door, so they were blowing them, and you're constantly hearing them clink against each other. I mean, we still have blinds in our house, but yeah, those vertical ones were not everything they were chalked up to be. I don't
It was
think
just on
they
the
were.
sliding door.
Yeah,
Like
just
I
a lot
had
of
it.
people had them on sliding doors. Okay, what about neon colored wall art?
No.
I didn't have that either. I was not into neon, which we grew up on a ranch, and all of our stuff was horses, and it was all that kind of thing.
My money didn't go on houses, it went on cars.
He spent money on cars. He's a hot rod guy. What was your first car?
A 69 Impala with a huge back seat and trunk.
When did you get your first Camaro?
It would have been 76.
Was that the black one?
Or 77.
Was it new or was it used?
It was 6 months old.
Wow. So you had that one. How long did you have it? It was a hot rod, y'all.
Until I moved to Texas and the roads tore up right before I got that first truck.
So then this was
About
the next
10 years.
Was the next one the purple one that we still have?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 92
Mm-hmm.
purple Camaro with like it's got the T-tops?
T-top.
Yeah. He's the one and only owner, right?
Yep.
We want to have it fixed. He put he souped up the motor and stuff in it, but then we had squirrels, y'all, that ate all the wiring. So nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about like sending it over to our local vocational school over here. We have Votech, and they do a lot of fixing on that stuff. You got to buy the parts and everything, but you get the labor for free if you send it there. And I think that'd be a good way to do it. And they can fix it. And some of them even work on like the interior and everything. Kind of.
Then I can get it repainted
Yeah.
again.
Gonna still keep it purple though, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty.
Because it matches the sticker. I wanted to keep everything on the sticker.
I thought he was pretty cute driving around in that purple Camaro. We even eloped in it. Yeah, and then we drove that down to or up to Nebraska or something to see your family with the girls in it. They sat in the back seat of that. They still remember it, and not affectionately. Okay, so that was a little off.
My favorite still is a 76.
Was it really? The black one? I think I would have liked it better too. I like those old ones. Okay, so number 19 is vanity lighting in the bathroom. And y'all, those bulbs were all 100 watts each. It was like a landing strip. I remember them. And what was worse was if you were a girl, you would put your makeup on with those lights, and it never looked right when you left the house because you weren't surrounded by about 800 watts of light. But did you all have those vanity lights, those big mirrors with the lights at the top of them?
I remember we had one bathroom.
Oh yeah,
for a long time.
all those kids. 4 kids.
Till we added on.
3 of which were girls. Can you imagine? Poor Mark. No wonder nothing that I do or the girls do really bothers him, because he grew up with girls. It was funny. What did you say when they told you about Tammy, his youngest sister?
First grade, I told him, take her back. I was promised a brother. Take her back. I don't want her. Got me out of school the rest of the day.
He was so destined. He was just so upset that it got him out of school. Okay, now I think probably almost everybody had this. And this is the last one on this list, y'all. And that is wall-to-wall carpeting, usually of the shag variety, often multicolored and ugly AF. What about you?
It wasn't not when I grew up. No. It
Well,
wasn't
in the
not-
80s.
80s. Well,
You had been in Texas.
whatever
Tell him where he was at.
whatever the rental houses would have had.
I know,
So,
but you don't remember what it was?
it wasn't shag.
Wasn't shag. We had shag carpet part of the time. Now, when my ex-husband and I got married, we had the butt ugliest orange and green and brown mixture of shag carpet. And when we were going in to buy this, it was a mobile home and it was used. And when we were going in to buy it, my mother-in-law, she was going up ahead of me, and she stopped and she turned around. She put her hand out and she goes, "We can change the carpet. We can change anything. Just look at the floor plan. Don't look at the carpet." And I thought, oh God, what is this going to be? This was like probably 88 or something. Walked in, it was the ugliest carpet I'd ever seen in my life. That carpet was gone real quick. It was awful. Awful. Ugh.
Yep, it was good at hiding stuff.
It was good at hiding stuff. You didn't have to vacuum as much. At home, when I was at home, we had like either brown or this blue colored carpet, and it wasn't shag. It was kind of a thick, but it wasn't a shag.
We didn't have carpet in a lot of them. They were that
Like linoleum.
Yep.
Yeah, we had linoleum in the kitchen and the bathrooms and stuff.
in a lot of the rooms.
Yeah, but we had carpet, and I'm trying to think, we had ceramic tile when I grew up in the big house. We had ceramic tile in the den, which was huge, and was constantly, it was like a off-white color, and it needed swept constantly. Everything. We lived out on the desert. It was all dirt, so we had to sweep that big room. Like, really, you needed to do it twice a day, but we had to do it at least once a day. And then I think the rest of the house, except for maybe the bedrooms, but all the common areas were hardwood floors. But then the bedrooms all had carpet. So that was my first experience with hardwood floors. I loved them, but they had to be swept a lot too. They were just about as bad as that. And oh man, we'd come in from outside, and our wet feet, because we'd be playing in the sprinklers and stuff, our wet feet would hit that ceramic tile, and down we go. We'd bust our asses constantly. I don't know how I didn't break something, especially because I was like seriously clumsy. Okay, we have one more group of things that we're going to talk about tonight, and that is fast food restaurants of the 80s. Now, y'all, I've got a list of 32. We're going to go through it pretty fast, so it won't take us that long. I could probably list another 32 right now, because I'm already working on the next show that I'm going to try to talk him into doing. So, and we're going to try to do some from the 70s and stuff too. So y'all send me some emails with ideas of things to do, like different restaurants that you went to, or different things that you did when you were growing up that maybe they don't do now, your first cars, anything that is like a walk down memory lane. Email us with it. The email is there on the little thing that's going across the bottom of the screen. I can't think of what they call it. It's a banner. There you go. So email me and let me know. So we're going to go through these restaurants pretty quick. And I'm going to be honest, the majority of them, I didn't know. I'm going to be interested to see what Mark knows, because he grew up in town. I grew up out on the desert. We didn't go out to eat. Very, very seldom. I remember we went to this one. It was a steakhouse, and it was called Perco's. And I don't know if it was a national deal or not, but it was there in California, in the town I grew up close to. And I remember going there and thinking that we was hot stuff when we got to go there. My first date was there. My first actual 2 dates were there. 2 different guys. So anyway, so number 1. And these are, I tried to find national chains, and some of them are still in business and some of them are not. So, but these were all like in the 80s. There's one that's in the 90s, and I don't know why that was listed as an 80s, but it was listed as an 80s. So maybe it was in some places in the 80s. Okay, number 1, Shakey's Pizza. They specialized in pizza, chicken, and beer.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Shakey's?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Never heard of it. I mean, that's cool though. I love it when somebody knows these things, y'all. Okay, number 2, Pup and Tacos. They had hot dogs and tacos, and they eventually turned into Taco Bell. But they originated making hot dogs and tacos and hamburgers, but they specialized in hot dogs and tacos.
Never heard of the first one.
Really? Heard of Taco Bell, but not Pup and Tacos? Okay, how about Frost Stop? It was a root beer drive-in. And they had frosty mugs, and they had the burgers and all that, the fries, and,
Nope.
all that. I never heard of them either. Okay, number 4, Der Wiener Schnitzel.
Yep.
I've heard of it, but never been there. But I have heard of it.
Well, when I grew up, it was a local drug place.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was on the Restless Strip, and that's where people bought their drugs.
When I grew up, the drug place was the trailer park behind the Pizza Hut out in California. It was the only trailer park I can remember seeing. but it was a known drug place.
It had good hot dogs.
And we would drive through there and follow with all my friends because they had I lived in a town that was, or not in a town, but near a town that was a lot of Mexicans. And so they had like the lowriders. And so we would be following the lowriders through the trailer, or in one of them sometimes, through the trailer park where all the drugs were being done. We didn't stop, y'all. I was just like, oh my God, my parents would kill me if they knew I was here. Okay, number 5, Burger Chef. Never heard of it. You heard of it?
They had one.
In Tulsa, or?
Yep.
You'll have to tell if where you saw it or whatever.
I don't remember going to it. Well, maybe I did.
Okay, number 6, Bridgman's Ice Cream. Then they said that they're still in the Midwest in stores and restaurants. They still have their ice cream there.
Nope.
I don't remember it either. Number 7, Taco Bell. I ate there a lot.
We just talked about it.
We just talked about it.
Yep.
Had the drug place, though. That was Pizza Hut. Taco Bell didn't have it.
Taco Bell had the best taco burgers.
Taco Bell had the enchiladas, y'all. I put a picture of them on the thumbnail. An enchilada. I'm going to show the thumbnail to Mark so he'll finally know what I'm talking about. Best thing in the world. I loved the Wiener Schnitzel. Or Wiener Schnitzel. I saw that on there. What was I saying?
Taco Bell.
Yeah, love Taco Bell. Love the enchilada. Okay, number 8, A&W root beer.
Yep.
I remember it too.
Mama burger, Papa burger, baby burger.
I ate there, but I don't like root beer. Did they have frosty mugs there too?
Yep.
If you ate in, right? But if you were in like the drive-in part, did they have it?
Yep.
Did they? Really cool. Okay, number 9, Roy Rogers Marriott.
Nope.
They had like fried chicken, and they said that they specialized in a lot of what they called Western, like cowboys and Indians kind of Western.
I think they're mostly West Coast.
Yeah. I can remember them. It's one of the few places I remember, but I don't think we ever ate there.
I remember.
I'll have to ask my dad.
California. That's about it.
I can remember them kind of being there, but I really don't remember eating there. We might have, but if so, I don't remember it. Okay, what about Kenny Rogers Roasters?
Nope.
I don't remember it either. Okay. How about Nodules? And it was a Tex-Mex influenced restaurant. It was mostly on the West Coast, but
Nope.
I remember it.
I don't.
I remember it. It was good. It wasn't as good as Taco Bell, I didn't think. I had a very, I was a kid. My palate was a lot different there. It eventually turned into Del Taco, which I'm sure you have heard of.
Barely heard because they put one in Stillwater.
Yeah. Okay, number 12, Geno's Hamburgers.
Nope.
I haven't heard of them either. Some of these are going to be like different areas of the country. So, okay, Zantigo's Tex-Mex. It was owned by Pepsi, and I've never heard of it. The food on the commercial, or the deal that I watched, the food looked amazing. It made me want to eat it. It made me remember when they showed all the food from Nodules. I remembered eating there. Oh my God, it was so good. It was one of the few places that I can remember going. I think I went with my grandparents. I don't remember going with my mom and dad. Might have went with my Aunt Val, but I remember going with my grandparents. So that would have been more north of where I grew up. So anyway, number 14, Jack in the Box. I've been there.
Been to it when I was in Texas, but they didn't have them here.
Yeah. Okay. This one is actually still in operation, and it operates a buffet, and it's called Quincy's Family Steakhouse. I don't know of it, but they said that it is still in operation and it has done well. Apparently it's not huge, or not around where we're at. It might be huge where you're at. And if so, I'd like to know, is it good? Have you been there? What's the food like? What's the prices like? The whole thing. I want to know everything. Okay, now this one, I can't remember how they pronounced it, and I'm going to get it wrong, but I thought they said Lums, Lums.
Mm-hmm.
It was hot dogs steamed in beer.
But I've heard it.
They've probably had other things, but they were famous for their hot dogs steamed in beer. And they literally showed these hot dogs on the grill, like the flat top grill in the restaurant. And the guy would pour beer over the top of them and let those hot dogs just soak up that beer. I bet they were good.
About like a bratwurst.
Yeah, kind of like a bratwurst. I bet they were good though. Probably. I don't know. Okay, number 17. We're like pretty much halfway done. Howard Johnson with the orange roofs. Yeah. Everybody that traveled went to Howard Johnson's, I think. I loved it.
The whole time I went there was with my grandparents.
Yeah, we went there too. It was the only place besides McDonald's that we ever ate at when we were traveling. We would do McDonald's and buy just the plain little burgers for like in the daytime when we were traveling. But at night, if there was a Howard Johnson's, we would eat there, or like for breakfast or something, we would eat there.
It was pretty good.
It was good. I remember it. It was really good. Okay, now this one, I don't remember, but some other people that I was talking to did, and that's Rack's Roast Beef. It looked a lot like Arby's. No. We have Arby's here, and it looked a lot like what they have. It was some just good-looking roast beef sandwiches and like sliced chicken, sliced turkey, that kind of deal. Sliced roast beef, like an Arby's, if you all have Arby's where you're at. Okay. Now this one they said was fast and cheap. Okay. And it was Wetson's Hamburgers.
Never heard of it.
I never heard of it either. A lot of these were more in the Midwest and the East Coast. A lot of them. There was a lot of fast food places in the Midwest. This one I've been to.
There's a lot of open range.
Yeah. This one I've been to, they had what was called a $1.99 big breakfast, and it was called Sambo's. I remember it. We would go there some. I think I went there with my grandparents
I think
too.
We had one here for a while.
My bulldog is just like slamming her head up against him, being like, "Daddy, look at me. I'm so beautiful." She's so worthless. Okay. Number 21, Bressler's Ice Cream. It was originally, I can't talk. It was originally Henry's Hamburgers, but they changed owners, and the owners switched a bunch of them, not all of them, but several of the Henry's Hamburgers over to this Bressler's Ice Cream.
Nope.
I don't remember it either. I sure don't. And the next one is Henry's Hamburgers. Do you remember that one?
Nope.
They were famous for their fries and burgers and milkshakes. They had like the best milkshakes, I guess. I don't remember that one.
Nope.
Okay. The next one is Sandy's Burgers. I don't remember that one either.
Yep.
Do you?
I think it later became Hardee's.
Yeah. Did I write that down? Sandy's.
I think it was Hardee's. Then now it's Carl Jr.'s Hardee's.
I thought there was another one that was turned. Maybe it was. I just probably didn't write it on this one. I think it did. I think it was that one that turned into Hardee's. I didn't write it down on this paper for some reason. Okay. How about Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips? Treachers. Some of them on the deal said Treachers and some said Treachers. It looks to me like Treachers, but the guy that was doing the commercial I saw said Treachers.
Treachers to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But, different parts of the country.
And it was good, but there's not many. I think there's only one left.
They said that it was very good and that it's kind of like a Long John Silver's or Captain D's kind of deal. But the people that I was talking to online about it said it was way better.
Yes.
That it was more like what you would get in England.
Uh-huh. That's what it was set up for.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they called it fish and chips,
I think
y'all.
the only one left is on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
There's one left.
Wow. We need to go there. I love fish and chips. Okay. I bet none of you's heard of this one. McDonald's. We ate there all the time. We still eat there. We like McDonald's. Okay, number 26, Shotgun's Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it. Oh, well, I take that back. I think I've heard of it, but I've never been there. Okay. 27. This one's still in business. Church's Chicken. It's now Church's Texas Chicken, but it is still in business. This one's still in business too, and I've never been there. It is just crazy. Bill and Ruth's. And do you know you can get steak there? I didn't know. I thought it was just like a sub sandwich thing. But everybody's been talking about that you can get like the best steak at Bill and Ruth's. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to try it sometime because who would have thought? But that's what they say.
Maybe it's just certain ones. I've never heard that.
I never did either until recently. But everybody's like, oh, yeah, you can get a really good steak there. I'm like, Bill and Ruth's? And they're like, yeah. Okay, 29, Dairy Queen.
Yep.
Are there any still left? What's his name had some, didn't he?
They
His
closed
parents.
it or sold them. Yeah.
The guy he works with, his parents owned some, but they sold it. But I think there's
so.
still some around.
Yeah, in the Midwest.
My high school boyfriend cheated on me with a girl that worked with him at Dairy Queen, so I do not have happy memories of that
Had
place.
the best ice cream.
Yeah, they did have good ice cream. Soft serve with the chocolate dip. Okay, number 30, still in business, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yep.
I think it was better back then. Like a lot of stuff. McDonald's was better back then. Remember the fries back in the day? Oh my God.
Because it's got to be healthy now.
It's got to be healthier. It's not healthy, but healthier. Okay, we got 2 left. And I know one of them that you've been to lots of times. Number 31, Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
I love Denny's.
But there's none here anymore.
There's none here, and I miss Denny's.
To have to go on vacation to our favorite one that's
Yeah.
super slow.
Super slow. Cricket loves Denny's too, and she even does. This friend of mine, she does a channel, and she says that it's like that we're all sitting around the corner booth in Denny's, just eating or drinking, coffee or whatever, late at night, and just talking.
Yep.
And that's what her whole channel is like. We're just chatting about whatever's on our minds, and it's like we're sitting around the corner booth at Denny's. I love Denny's.
Went to many Denny's when I went on vacation with my uncle. Every meal's at Denny's.
His uncle was worse than him about like having an itinerary. If you got to be here at this time to this time, at this time to this time, you're somewhere else. Always managed to end up at Denny's for dinner and
lunch.
And lunch sometimes, but Denny's at dinner. And, if you were there for dinner, you were also there at the hotel, and it didn't matter if it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. He was already ready to stop. I love Denny's. My girls always get the moons over my hammy. They always get that. I love the Grand Slam.
It had the best breakfast.
They do have good breakfast. They still do. And their coffee is so good.
Better than IHOP.
It's better than IHOP's. IHOP has good coffee, but Denny's
has the best breakfast.
Oh my God. We're gonna have to go somewhere now. We're gonna have to just leave the state so I can get to it.
You got Shoney's on there?
No, it's on the next one. Oh. But we do have number 32, and this is the last one, y'all, the end of our little deal tonight. Sizzler Steakhouse. Do you remember Sizzler Steakhouse? I remember it. We had them in California, I know.
Is that the same as the Western Sizzler?
Kind of is like a Western Sizzling, but this was called Sizzlers.
Yeah. I think before that it was like someplace in the Sirloin Stockade.
I think they had all 3. I don't think it was actually the same, but it was along that same lines.
Yep.
But yeah, Sizzlers was Mr. Manager's first job. Joe McCoy had hundreds of meals at Sizzlers. I loved it. We ate there some. My dad, it cracked me up because, we grew up on a ranch, or I did. We had steak all the time. Everybody thought that we were rich because we had steak. And I was like trying to switch lunches with them for any of, like, if they had, bologna or chicken, anything beef.
Yeah.
But when we would go out, my dad would still want to go to a steakhouse.
We had steak.
Now, sometimes he wouldn't get steak. Sometimes he'd get like the pork chops or something like that.
Well, growing up, we had steak, round steak, this steak, because he'd go get beef from his cousin.
Yeah, we had round steak a lot.
Everybody thought we were rich because we had steak, and we were so sick of it.
We were sick of it too. We would take round steak and we would make Swiss steak or make what's that one? It just went out of my head. Oh, the
Mazzetti?
one. No, the one. Oh my gosh, what is that we make now that it's got the sour cream in it? Megan makes it. The noodles, and it's got like a gravy and the meat. What is that called, you guys? I know what it is. I was gonna say it and it went out of my head.
I don't know.
It's like it'll have mushrooms in it and everything, and it's like has like a mushroom grape. We have it at Mom and Dad sometimes. Oh, I almost had it and it went away. Yeah, we had Swiss steak a lot because that was cheap. And we had lots of potatoes. We had stroganoff. Thank you, Dawn. Stroganoff. We had stroganoff all the time.
We had a lot of round steak.
Yeah, we would use the round steak to make stroganoff. So we also had a lot of potatoes because where we lived, there was a potato farm not very far from there. And they would literally pile them up like taller than our house of potatoes that were like missized or, misshaped or whatever that they wouldn't put in the bags of potatoes to sell. And you could go get all you wanted. So we were over there like filling up gunny sacks. And we did the same with walnuts and pecans. We did the same free. So we had walnuts, and pecans, and potatoes and all kinds of stuff for free growing up. And one time this guy, oh, made me think of this, but this man ran over our dog, y'all. It killed the dog and it was awful. And he was so sweet and he helped us bury it, not the whole bit. But his son owned a Baskin Robbins ice cream place. And he went and got one of those big, like a 5-gallon thing of ice cream. It was strawberry and brought it back to us. Good thing we had a freezer and it wasn't full at the time. If it had been full, we would have been wasting a lot of good strawberry ice cream. And I, to this day, don't want strawberry ice cream because we ate it constantly. Because my parents were big on if you had it, you ate it. You didn't waste anything. So now I'm going to go to the chat and see what you all had to say. And see what Mark thinks about what y'all had to say. So all the way up here. Okay. So Dawn Gloves was here, said, hey, Susie and Mike. Miss Sunrise Dawn is here from North Georgia, y'all. Joe McCoyne. And Miss Sunrise Dawn and Joel keep talking back and forth. Mark, blink twice if you're being held against your will. He blinked. He's not being held against his will. Exactly. I do have him. Now, if he was sitting where I'm at, he would be blocked in. The Sunrise Dawn says, places I've been. I've been in several states and been out of the country once. I went on a mission trip in the mid-90s to Trinidad and Tobago. Cool. I have only been out of the country once and I was little. I went to Canada. You've been places.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you been?
Germany, Belgium, Switzerland. Parts that we crossed into Italy. It was a D-Day tour.
Yeah. It was pre-Susie.
And
he won't take me anywhere.
There was 7 countries in 8 days.
That's lots.
And then a week's tour of Switzerland, which was nice. And then, still Hawaii, Alaska, and Virgin Islands.
Yeah, those kind of places. Yeah.
I've been into Canada, been into Mexico. That's it.
Not me. Been into Canada, and that's it. And I was little. I don't remember it at all.
And I will tell you one thing. If you go out of the country, McDonald's menus are different.
Yes, it is. I've got a friend that's in Tokyo right now. Well, she might be on the plane headed back now, but she's been in Tokyo. I start to say where she lives. She probably might get on me if I did. So anyway, she went to McDonald's and she said that she actually loved it at the McDonald's in Tokyo. And they had some kind of a, I can't remember what they called it, but it was shrimp. It was like, instead of like the fish burger thing that we get here, it was shrimp. And she said that it was so good. And when we were in Maine, they had, what was it? They had those,
the crab,
lobster or crab rolls. Lobster, was it crab?
Lobster rolls.
Yeah, lobster rolls at McDonald's. Well, they're like 2 for $10 or something, weren't they?
We should have tried it.
We didn't try them. We kept saying we were going to, and we never did. And I want to go back so bad. I was just telling Megan yesterday that I want to go back to Maine, but I don't want to stay where we did. I want to stay at that Deer Island where we went over to. I want to stay like over there and, just like don't do a lot. Not all the shopping and the touristy stuff. Maybe fly on a plane again.
I don't really have no desire to go back to Maine. But
I loved it. I
just remember the huge mosquitoes.
Yeah. Mark got so mad. He doesn't have good luck with his seating on helicopters or planes, like small planes. And I don't like to do any of that stuff, but I always end up with the best seat. And so who got to fly the plane?
The pilot.
I flew the plane for a little while. I banked it to the right, banked it to the left, made a complete turn, lined up with the runway. And he's like, do you want to land? I'm like, no, Absolutely not. I think he was teasing. I don't think he was really going to let me land.
I don't think you would either.
No, but he was letting me fly it for quite a bit. It was really scary, but so fun. Not enough that makes me want to get a pilot's license or anything, but I did have fun. What I want to do is on one of those that land on the water. I want to land on the water so bad. We were going to do that when we were in Alaska, but there was so much fires around and everything that they weren't flying a bunch of stuff then. So
Your best bet would be if you go back to the Virgin Islands, fly over to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Could land on the water.
I want to land on the water. I'm going to be terrified, but I want to do it. I don't want to do a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff I have no desire to do, but I do want to land on one of those.
You didn't even want to go in the helicopter.
No, I made this deal with him that if he went snorkeling with me 10 miles out in the ocean, y'all, in a volcano, that I would go in the helicopter with him. And he did. And I thought, well, crap. Now I got to go in the helicopter.
I didn't stay long. I got off the boat and had the drinks and food.
He got in the water and everything. Whenever I hit that water, I thought, what in the hell have I done? And now I have to do this because I have made him do it too. And I looked in and he was already in the water. If he hadn't have been in the water, I'd have been like, it's okay. You don't have to do it.
It was spooky.
It was more than spooky. It scared the crap out of me. But what did I do? I turned around and did it again with our daughter, Megan. I think I had a death wish.
You don't realize how far you are until you look back later in the pictures.
Yeah, and it's like, holy cow, what was I thinking?
Because when you're there, all you see is like land.
Yeah.
Around that crater.
Yeah, but it's a crater. It's not really the land. It's a crater. Oh, wow. Mischief Managed says, I grew up 30 minutes from Disneyland back when there was a $5 admission and the ticket books for the rides. We used to go hang out or shop when there was a good band playing. Do you know what it costs now?
Tell them what you did at Disneyland when we went that time.
What did I do?
Me and Katie and we went to Disneyland and you went to the mall.
That was the second day. I went the first day. You don't even want to know the first day. I cried.
Well, what did you do when you went to the mall?
Shopped.
What else?
Ran into Robert Downey Jr. and had coffee with him. It was so cool.
And no picture.
Well, I literally just got a cell phone that had the camera on it. This was years ago, y'all. And I didn't even think about it. I was just so starstruck, I think, that I didn't.
Whatever year Katie graduated. It
was 1990, right? No, 2000. 1990 is when she's born. 2000 or 2002 or something. I can't even remember when she graduated. Isn't that awful?
Well, she's born in 90. She didn't graduate when she was 12. So
whenever she graduated, it was after we got married. It was the early 90s. I think 2004, something like that. But anyway, yeah. The first day we were there that I went, one of his sisters made me so nervous. Like she just wanted they're planners and she moves fast and she's just, let's go. And I was just not used to that. And I was having a lot of anxiety at the time. And I remember crying to Mark and turning to him and said, I'm the most miserable person on earth and the happiest place on earth. So the next day when they wanted to go back, I'm like, no. But I think it's like over $200 a person to go now. It was like $100 a person when we went back in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I think it's like over $200 now a person.
Well, when I first went, we got in free. My uncle had stock, so he got tickets to go.
Yeah.
Back in the
I like Disneyland though. I'd like to go back. Like once I get where I can walk around more and everything, I would like to go back sometime. Of course, I just want to go to California. It's the land of my people.
See?
Yeah, see. Can you just see me see, y'all? They'll be like, what in the hell? All my friends from high school will be like, okay, she's so hick now. I went to Disney World a few times. My dad's side of the family was about 45-ish minutes from Disney World. I've never been to Disney World. I'd kind of like to go there too, but I don't really want to go to Florida. So I would go to Disney World though.
I almost went to Disney World in Paris when we were there.
Really?
Some of the people were going to take that day off the trip and go to
He's a
Disney.
little fancy.
I didn't go.
He didn't go. You're not that fancy.
I didn't like Paris.
You hope we're still friends? You talking about Virginia, the girl that said that I was her cousin? We're not. I don't know where she's went. The girl that said that I was half black.
Oh.
She was the most beautiful girl I had. I mean, I always thought that all through high school, grade school, junior high, high school. We were friends forever. But I lost track of her when we moved here, but she was so pretty. And from that day on, she told everybody that we were cousins. So I'm not even kidding. I mean, it was a thing. Everybody thought I was half black. Everybody did. And then I was really started tanning a lot. And so I was, pretty dark tanned. And I do get a very dark tan because I'm Belgium and I'm the dark side of it. My dad was really on the dark side of it. So he was very dark. I don't get as dark as he does, but so sometimes I was every bit as dark as the black kids in school. So yeah. Yeah, we need y'all to counter up in the corner. Absolutely. Miss Sunrise Dawn had the intercom. We did too, but the only to be honest, the only reason that we had it, I think that it was in the kitchen. It was in what was my bedroom, which was at one point the maid's room. And then it was in the dining room or something. And it's because they had a maid / cook or whatever they had. I don't know what they had. We didn't have any of that. But that was the only reason. They were a little bougie. We weren't. We were just poor little kids. My dad did not own the ranch, not even close. Joel says he didn't have an intercom. Mischief Manager didn't have an intercom.
It was more of a 70s thing.
Don Glove said that if my grandma needed me, my brother was the intercom.
Yep.
And if she needed him, it was me. Yes. Susan P says no intercom, but flashing porch lights. No jacuzzi, no bubble tubs, no jacuzzi. Yeah, Miss Sunrise Dawn says her pawpaw had one but he lived about 500 miles away. I'm trying to think. My aunt and them had one for a while, but and I would go to my grandparents' house, and it was so funny because my mom and them never did this. I would go to my grandparents' house, and we would go to these friends of theirs' house that had a hot tub. So it was a jacuzzi hot tub. And so my grandmother and grandfather, they'd be in their bathing suits, and they'd be sitting there sipping wine or scotch or something. I think my grandpa had scotch or something. But anyway, and my mom and my aunt and them were like, what? I'm like, you didn't know this? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, when I stayed the summers with them, it was several nights a week, and they're just amazed, which makes me so happy because it's something that I experienced that nobody else experienced with them. Mischief Manager says she didn't have neon either. Nope, no neon. No neon. Oh, Joel had a central vac. How fancy. My Aunt Donna's got some kind of central vac. Hers, though, and I take that back. It's not a central vac. Hers, you sweep the floor over to it in the kitchen, and it's got a thing under her cabinet that you sweep it into, and it sucks it in there. She lives right up the road from us. Same family property, but yeah, Don Gloves had a family that did. Nobody else's. Yep, had a bar. Joel, he's a fancy little guy. He had the central vac and a bar. We didn't. We've got one now. It's just basically a buffet with a bunch of liquor sitting on it, mostly rum from the Virgin Islands. But we do have a lot because I had some friends from Savannah that were going to come visit, but I don't remember what happened, but they didn't end up coming. I can't remember what went on. There was a reason why they didn't come, but I was really stocking that bar in case they were going to come, and they didn't.
I think it was called a hurricane.
It might have been a hurricane. They had to, batten down the hatches and take care of all that. So the Sunrise Dawn says her parents never allowed alcohol in the house. I don't remember much. Every once in a while, my dad would drink a beer with one of the friends. But, we didn't really have much alcohol. They did. I remember they went out to a bar one time, and some guy busted a beer bottle over my dad's cousin's head and cut his ear, and a piece of glass went in my mom's finger, and it somehow or another, the guy that was the foreman on the ranch before my dad got his eye put out, and he had to have a glass eye. His name was Walt. I remember that. I had the biggest crush on him. And he was like this older guy, but it was like my first crush. I was like Reese with the olds. I liked the olds back in the day. Susan P says she didn't have a novelty phone either. The Sunrise Dawn had a couple of novelty phones. One was a Coke can. I remember seeing those. Oh, is Chad in here? Yeah, there he is. Clearwater Chad. Hey, Chad. Good to see you. Everybody's talking. I love that. No round beds. Grandma has a water bed. Those water beds, and if you filled them up too full, it was interesting. We also had one, me and my ex-husband, of the ones that had the baffles in it, so that like if I moved, it didn't move him. And that one was cool. I liked it because I'm a roller. I tend to roll a lot in the night, and it used to irritate the crap out of him when I would roll because he'd be like, "Woo!" I can just imagine. Can you imagine if we had a waterbed with our dogs jumping on and off? We would end up in the floor. Duke would jump up on that bed, and it would just, we would go flying off the bed. The Sunrise Dawn didn't have a round bed, but she had a water bed. Joe McCoy, his family was in the furniture biz. They sold them, but not at home. Clearwater Chad says in the 80s, and Chad is down with the ladies. Joel did not have a computer. I didn't either. Neither did Susan or Mischief Manage. We did not. I got my first computer, gosh, it would have been right before, it would have been about, I don't know, 99 or something. It was right, not too long before I got a divorce. Clearwater Chad says he's a Commodore man. I remember those. Mischief Managed. My first computer class was on an Apple IIc. No glass stairs. Mischief Managed said no stairs, no glass or otherwise.
My first computer class was key punch cards.
Oh my gosh. No glass blocks, no glass block anything. Everybody's like, what's that? I didn't either till we got married in that window, which I think it's like supposed to look like it's glass blocks, but I mean, it's glass, but it's not actual, those glass bricks, it's not that. Joel had the glass block wall. He's doing pretty good. Oh, Clearwater Chad had yellow wallpaper. Dawn's grandma's house in Arizona had the glass bricks, yeah. Sunrise Dawn's not sure about the honey oak. Mom's kitchen was maple. I had those cupboards in a couple rentals though. Yeah. Our daughter Megan, she lives in the house that we bought. It's a mobile home or whatever they call it. But anyway, it's a double wide of some sort. But anyway, it has those oak cabinets in it, and they're still in good shape, aren't they? Mm-hmm. They're in nice shape. They're beautiful. I like them.
Never downsize.
Never downsize. We thought we were so smart. They got married. She had 2 kids. He had 2 kids, and they got married. And we thought, we don't need this big house. So we sold it to them. And we downsized. It's still not a tiny house, but it's certainly not big.
It's not as good as that one.
And I miss that house so much. I really do. Now, the other day we were there, and it doesn't feel the same. Like, I don't feel like it's our house. It feels like theirs because they've changed so much of it, like paint and floors and everything. But I still miss it. If I could go back, we might just have helped them buy a house. Helped them and kept ours. And then now they've got a child of their own. So now they've got 5. And they've also got a grandchild, but she doesn't live there. He lives with his parents. But Oh, wow. Clearwater Chad says, I remember when my dad came home with something called a VCR. He was fancy. What was those things I was talking about the other day? Those, I can't remember what they're called. It was, can't remember what they're called. It was before the VCRs. They were the things that looked like a record, like an album, some kind of laser disc or something. And I loved those. And my mom could not remember them. My dad doesn't remember them. My brother doesn't remember them. The girls don't. Nobody remembers them, and I clearly remember them. And I saw them on something the other day, and I'm like, see, they existed. I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy.
I don't think they lasted very long.
No, they didn't last very long. They were kind of a pain because they were like in an album, like a record album. You had to be careful.
We didn't even have color TV. We had black and white and the strip you put over it. Make it blue, green, and yellow. I think it was yellow.
I never saw those, but I've heard of them.
To colorize it.
I know we only had like 3 or maybe 4 channels the whole
Yep.
time I was growing up. I remember we got cable when my ex-husband and I got married, and we thought we was hot stuff. But where we were at, you had to have cable to have telephone to have TV service at all, because you couldn't have like an antenna, so you had to have cable in those apartments. So Joe McCoyne says, my wife and I had the flower stuff early in married life, 1981. Mm-hmm. Susan P. had tons of home interior. Me too, girl. I didn't sell it, but I sure bought it. No metal sculptures, but I did have some home interior stuff. Brass birds. Nope. But I had bird wallpaper. Had the longest cord you could get. I mean, I think we did too. It was so long. I remember one time for the longest time, our phone was red. So we had this long red cord. It was something. And it was the dial-up kind of phone. I remember when we got the push button one, we thought we were swanky. Yeah, Susan P says, heck yeah, on the long cord.
20-footer.
Clearwater Chad. I'm getting tired. Apparently, I'm mixing your names all together. I remember the guy going door to door selling cable TV for $8 a month. I remember that too, but it wasn't cable. It was those great, big, huge satellite dishes. They were a little more than $8, but not much. I mean, you had to buy the dish and everything, but then the service wasn't that much. I mean, it went up depending on what you got, but we didn't have one. My ex-in-laws did for a little while. And then now dishes are tiny. Some of them are just like a little, little weird shaped thing. They're not even a dish anymore. Yeah, Mr. Banner says their phone cord was super long. Party lines in the 60s. I had them in the 70s and the very early 80s. But I'm telling you, we were out in the middle of nowhere, y'all. It was like, seriously, like 20 miles or more, probably 30 miles to the nearest town. Sunrise Dawn said that their phones had bazillion flip cords. The Sunrise Dawn also had the fancy drapes. Yep. Joel had the massive drapes.
Hush.
The Sunrise Dawn had to go mod another stream. That's fine. We love you. Lace curtains are a yes for Joel and Susan. Lots of floral furniture, floral wallpaper and furniture. Probably bought at Sears, where America shops. I loved Sears. Loads of plants. No plants ever. Never anywhere. Wow.
Sears had the best place when you walked in, had the peanuts roasting and the popcorn and the candies.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
They wanted to get your money as soon as you came in.
Mischief Managed said she got houseplants when she was out on her own. Joel had no pastels. Mischief Managed said all white walls. Chad hit the like button. Good. No jacuzzi tubs. Oh, you're watching Alf after this, Chad? I loved Alf. I thought that was such a good show. Stuff was fun then. What are you watching?
Probably Magnum
But
PI.
we're so old. We watch things like Magnum PI and Rockford Files every night. Every night we watch it. What was really funny was when we went to St. Thomas one time, Magnum PI was in Spanish. So were the commercials, but Magnum PI was in Spanish. We still watched it. It was fun.
We didn't have a big choice.
No, we didn't have a big choice. There was literally like.
They've got better, I heard now.
Mm-hmm. Mischief managed put Dawn in the dishwasher once. The whole kitchen was full of bubbles. My kids had a blast. I can imagine. Joel had brass doodads. My mom and dad had that stuff. No brass. Yes, Chad. I'm 62. I know Alf. Yeah. I love Alf. Vertical blinds and rentals. Question: how do your dogs feel about having clothes? Our cats had a meeting, 8-0, no costumes. Well, the only one, yeah, the only one that likes it is Hollis, our little Multipoo. He likes it. Now, the one that we had with him, that he's passed away since then. No, I'm talking about Winston. He loved it. If you got clothes out, Winston would come running and he'd put his little arms through, which Hollis likes them too. And Savannah liked them. Savannah, my little puppy that died not long ago. Now, Poppy likes them, but we have a hard time finding stuff to fit her. She's a little chunky. Just that much. What?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about Duke. He wears them, but I think he just does it like to entertain me. He doesn't really like them.
I don't think he does either.
I don't think the bigger dogs like it so much. The little dogs like it. But when my little dogs, they were really nervous with the storms and stuff. So I always had those thunder shirts for them. And so they got used to those. And they love those thunder shirts. And they would calm right down. They could wear them for travel or anything that made them nervous. And they'd wear those thunder shirts and just calm right on down. Oh, no neon art, but had black light posters. My cousin had black lights in his bedroom, and he had black walls. The walls were painted black, and he had those black lights. It was so cool. Joel said his first car was a 63 Fairlane. Mischief Managed didn't have any hot rods. I didn't either.
Listen, you're not getting over here.
Our bulldog's trying to crowd her way in here. My first car was a Volkswagen Dasher, and it was orange and black. That was the best thing about it because of Oklahoma State colors, but it was orange and black, had blackout windows, and I literally sat and with a Q-tip and a toothpick painted the white on the tires because it had faded. I love that car, and it was a standard, so I got to shift the gears and everything. Chevy Monte Carlo. First car, 76 Ford Granada. Susan P says, Joel, dogs are all natural. Absolutely. Most of the time. No vanity lights. Yeah. Dogs are cool with clothes if it's cold. My dogs like it a lot better if it's cold. They have coats and everything, y'all, and life jackets. They're spoiled. Yeah, the cat would murder me in my sleep. I thought that too. But I started out, I just put this little bandana thing around Reese because she's real feral. That's what Tommy said she is feral. And she's mean. I'm afraid she's going to eat my face. So anyway, I put that on her. She loved it, didn't she? She loves it. She'll wear it. Right now it's off because she had it so long it was just shredded. But then I put a shirt on her and she wore it for a while too. But then all of a sudden she'll just take it off. She'll wear it for a while and then she just is done with it. Yes to the carpeting. Lots of people had the shag. The avocado shag. Yeah, that was something. Tasty Freeze. I remember that. Do you remember Tasty Freeze? Shakey's, yes. Love Shakey's. No to Shakey's. We still have a Shakey's in Riverside, California? Really? Mischief Managed is A&W Drive-In. Mischief Managed is the Wiener Schnitzel. Der Wiener Schnitzel. Taco Bell, naturally. Yes to Taco Bell. Yes to Enchiritos. Aren't they the best thing. You can still order them, but they're not the same. They are not the same. They were so good. I mean, I loved them. Nope to Roy's, Del Taco, Noggles. There's a Facebook group, and they tried to revive it, but it didn't take. Aw, I remember that one, though. Jack in the Box. No to the Quincy's. No Looms or Lums. How do you say that one?
Lums.
Beer dogs. Yeah, they had it like on the flat top grill, and they would lay hot dog, wieners on there. And then they would pour beer over it and just kind of move the wieners around. I was watching a whole commercial for it. It was cool. I thought it'd be good. No racks. And it was actually RAX. No Westons, no Sambos. I remember Sambos. No Henrys, no Sandys, Hardee's, and Carl's Jr. Yeah. H Salt Fish and Chips. No Treachers. Is that how you said it? Treachers. I would like to go there. Mickey D's. No Shotguns. No Churches. You've not had Churches? I love Church's chicken. I like it better than Kentucky Fried Chicken. And they also have a spicy one out now. You've eaten a spicy one, haven't you? Is it good?
I guess, yeah.
Not as good as Popeyes? I love Popeyes.
Probably not.
Popeyes is like my jam. I love Popeyes. First time I had it was down in Texas a few years ago, and I thought, oh my God, what have I been missing my whole life? No Bill and Ruth's. Dairy Queen is a go. Yeah. Dairy Queen, we still have them in Washington. I think there's not any in Oklahoma now, or just Chris's family sold it.
I don't think there's any in Oklahoma now.
Yeah,
I think the closest one is Branson.
Yeah, KFC was so much better back then. And Denny's, Denny's. IHOP is good too, but not as good as Denny's. Sizzlers was good. I loved it. Sizzlers was Mischief Manage's first job. Mischief Managed. I can't even talk. Remembers Swiss steak, stroganoff. Yeah. Ribs are ready to take out of the smoker. Y'all have a good one. See ya. Now I'm really hungry, y'all. We didn't eat dinner first. Susan P says she's been to Italy, Israel, Egypt, Greece, and Mexico. I kind of want to go to Greece.
All I remember when we went to Italy is they stopped the bus, they came on with machine guns and checked everybody's passports. And this would have been in 95.
Wow. I have a couple of different friends that are Greek and go to Greece. So I have seen some amazing videos and pictures of Greece. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think I kind of want to go there sometime. Yeah. Oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. At first I was sitting there and I was like, that really looks like him, but it can't be him, right? We're just sitting like this open air coffee shop. And I was just sitting there by myself, having a coffee, resting, getting away from all the people trying to sell me stuff as you're walking through this outdoor mall. And I said, are you Robert Downey Jr.? It took me a little bit to remember his name because I always forget it even now. I mean, I know exactly who he is, but I always forget his name. And he said, yes, I am. And I said, okay. And I just went back to whatever I was doing. I think I was reading. And anyway, the next thing I know, he's like standing by me and he said, do you mind if I sit down? And I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine. So then we sat there and we probably talked for 30 minutes and he was just so nice. He was just, so nice. And in some ways, I wish I'd have gotten pictures, but in the other ways, I don't know if he would have been so relaxed and just really just sat there and talked. And then after a little bit, he says, oh, the paparazzi knows I'm here. He goes, I'm going to go. He said, if not, they'll have us having an affair in the Enquirer by the end of the week. And I'm like, go ahead, Enquirer, go ahead. I'll be buying that one up. But I never saw it. I did go buy them for a couple of weeks to see if I was having an affair with Robert Downey Jr., but I wasn't. Damn it. Yes, Laserdisc. That's what it's called. I'm glad somebody else remembers them. I remember when we first got our first color TV. I think it was about 8. Yeah, I remember getting ours too. I like Bonanza. Absolutely. Creepy B5's in here. She likes Bonanza. Mischief Manage has been to Canada and Mexico. And Susan P says Greece is beautiful. Everything I've seen, it looks beautiful. It looks hot, but it looks beautiful. Maybe not go when it's the hottest time of the year, but the friends that I have and I love Greek food. And I want to go to Italy, and he's not really all that big into it. I want to go to London, and he's not that big into it. He's done all this stuff. But I'm like, well, take me.
I'd go back to Switzerland.
I want to go there too. I want to go everywhere. I want to go everywhere. I want to go. I can just think of all kinds of places I want to go.
The northern part of Germany was snooty and industrial, and the southern part was forest and nice.
Well, we have a son in Germany, so we have to go there. Is he in the snooty or the forest?
He's in the south part.
Which is
the forest.
Nice. That's what I thought.
But you can still see the parts where they ran the tanks down the walls and the fences.
It's something else. I've seen all the pictures that he's got. It's something else. But anyway.
You just want to go to Belgium.
I want to go to Belgium because I'm half Belgium. I've got family that is still there. I don't know them, but I've got family there.
Well, I got a town that's named after it. We're named after in Switzerland.
In Switzerland, he has a town that's named
It's
Oberholz or something. It's spelled different, but they pronounce it the same. But all this time you thought you were what, German or something?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, nope, son, got to tell you.
It was the tour guide
Swiss.
that told us that.
I was telling him that when I was doing his
the tour guide
DNA
brought it
thing
up
too.
when we were over there.
Yeah. But yeah.
Helga something.
But anyway, well, we're going to get off of here. I had so much fun. I hope you guys did too. And I'm going to try to talk Mark into doing these little Sunday trip down memory lanes. Most of them probably won't be this long, but I wanted to really get a good start tonight.
We need a padded bench.
If you need a padded bench, we'll probably move to a different area of the house where it's a little more comfortable. But yeah, he's gotten skinny. He's lost so much weight that his butt don't have any padding. Mine don't have much, and I'm not skinny.
I think we should do it from the pool.
He wants to do them from the pool. We might. So yes, Mischief Manage. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like and subscribe before you go. I appreciate all of you. Thanks to all of the members and all the non-members, just everybody. We just appreciate you so much. So much. You all have a great night. We never did get those storms, y'all. I don't think it ever did rain, did it?
Yeah, it did. I was mowing in the rain.
Well, it rained a little, but it wasn't like a storm.
It thundered a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a good night. We're going to make some dinner real quick. It's kind of getting late, but we're going to have a late dinner. Just probably an egg sandwich or something, right?
Yeah.
Probably. And just
we got lots of eggs.
Watch some what is it? We're going to watch on TV. My mind already went blank.
I'm going to watch, and you're going to be doing something else.
I watched some. The Rockford Files I do like. I get tired of Magnum PI, but you know, he likes it, so I watch it sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. They're not sending out the notifications, Debbie. I don't know what the deal is. I'm just kind of counting on most everybody's ending up on the replay, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Glad to see you here anyway. You can always catch it on the replay. We had kind of fun. We're going to try to do this on Sundays. I think I can talk him into it. Won't be as long. This one's been an hour and a half, and so we'll probably try to stay around 45 minutes next time. So anyway, I think I can talk him into it if I keep it shorter. So anyway, we're going to go. We'll see you soon. I'll be back tomorrow. I've got some more stuff. I've got kind of a little funny that I'm going to do. I'm hoping for tomorrow. So I will see you guys later. You're going to snort like the dog.
She's snoring at me.
See what I live with? You all have a good night too. She says, night, Mark.
Bye.
Bye.